Welcome back to the Unfiltered Political Lens, where we challenge ourselves to look beyond the headlines and ask the difficult questions that shape our world. Every day, millions of people wake up to another breaking news alert, another international crisis and another political battle, another economic concern, or another conflict unfolding somewhere on the planet. Tonight, we're stepping back from the daily noise to examine a much larger question. Is civilization beginning to fracture under the weight of an unprecedented global presence? Or are we simply living through another turbulent chapter in human history? Before we begin, it is important to understand what this discussion is and what it isn't. This is not a prediction that civilization is designed to collapse, nor is it an attempt to reduce the complexity of the world events to the simple explanation. Instead, this is an exploration of history, geopolitics, economics, technology, and human behavior to better understand why so many people across the globe feel as though the world has entered a period of profound uncertainty. For thousands of years, civilizations have risen, flourished, struggled, and transformed. The ancient Egyptians built monuments that still stand after thousands of years, and the Greeks reshaped philosophy and science. The Romans constructed one of history's greatest empires, and the countless other civilizations left lasting contributions that continue to influence the modern era. Yet every civilization, no matter how powerful, had eventually faced challenges that tested its institutions, its leadership, and its economy and its social cohesion. History rarely repeats itself in exactly the same way, but it is often rhymes. Each era has its own unique technologies, political systems, and cultural values, yet there are certain patterns that appear again and again when societies experience prolonged periods of instability. Economic pressures increase and political divisions deepen. External threats emerge, public trust declines, and leadership faces increasingly difficult decisions, while the citizens question whether existing institutions can meet the challenges before them. When people hear the phrase civilizational decline, many imagine dramatic moments of sudden collapse. Popular culture often portrays history as though great nations simply disappear overnight, but historians generally describe a much slower process. Institutions weaken gradually, confidence erodes over the years rather than days, and a series of interconnected crises can often reshape societies long before anyone realizes how much has changed. Now consider the world we live in today. Never before has humanity been so interconnected through trade, technology, communication, and finance. Yet never before have local events carried such immediate global consequences. A conflict in one region can disrupt supply chains across continents, a cyber attack can affect businesses thousands of miles away, and financial shock in one market can ripple through the global economy within hours. That interconnectedness has brought extraordinary progress. Advances in medicine, transportation, communications, and services have improved the lives of billions of people, while international cooperation has solved problems that no nation could have addressed alone. Yet globalization has also created new vulnerabilities as well, because the instability in one part of the world increasingly affects people everywhere else. Take a moment to consider the pace of modern events. Armed conflicts continue in multiple regions. Strategic competition among major powers, which often has intensified. Cyber attacks have become an ongoing national security concern, and technological advances are transforming industries faster than faster than many societies can adapt. But at the same time, inflation, housing affordability, energy security, migration, demographic change, and public debt have become major topics of discussion in many countries, regardless of their political ideology. But individually, none of these developments necessarily signals the decline of civilization. History has seen wars, recessions, political turmoil, and technological revelations before. That makes this moment different is that what many of these pressures are occurring simultaneously, they're creating a sense that the world is being pulled in multiple directions at once. The 21st century has also transformed the information environment in ways previous generations could scarcely imagine. News no longer arrives once each morning in newspapers or during an evening televised broadcast. Instead, the information flows continuously through the smartphones, social media platforms, streaming services, podcasts, websites, and independent creators, producing an environment where people are exposed to an almost constant stream of breaking developments. This revolution in communication has expanded access to the knowledge beyond anything in human history. At the same time, it has made it easier for rumors, falsehoods, manipulated images, and emotionally charged narratives to spread rapidly before they can be verified. The challenge facing citizens today is not simply finding information, it is determining which information is reliable. That reality raises another important question. If information has become one of the world's most valuable resources, then who benefits from the influence? What people believe? Throughout history, the governments, political movements, military organizations, intelligence agencies, corporations, activists, and extremist groups have all attempted to shape public opinion to advance their own objectives. These efforts are well documented across different countries and historical periods. During wars, governments have often used propaganda to strengthen the public's morale or weaken adversaries. Political campaigns have long relied on persuasive messaging to mobilize the supporters, while authoritarian governments have frequently restricted independent journalism in order to maintain control over public narratives. None of those historical facts prove that every modern event is coordinated by a single hidden actor. Instead, they demonstrate something equally important. Powerful institutions have repeatedly recognized that ideas can influence history as much as armies, but the struggle of the territory has often been accompanied by a struggle for perception, legitimacy, and public trust. Today, that struggle extends into cyberspace. Nations invest heavily in the cybersecurity because the digital infrastructure has become essential to economic stability, national defense, and healthcare, communications, and financial systems. The information and security is now considered a strategic concern because of the modern societies that depend upon digital networks for nearly every aspect of daily life. Technology has also transformed political discourse. Social media platforms allow people from every corner of the world to exchange ideas instantly, creating opportunities for education, collaboration, and civic engagement that previous generations never possessed. Yet these same platforms can also amplify the outrage and encourage rapid reactions before the facts are fully known, and reward emotionally engaging content over careful analysis. The researchers continue to study how online environments influence our political polarization, social trust, and public discourse. But while there is ongoing debate about the magnitude of these effects, many scholars agree that the digital communications has changed how information spread and how communities form around shared beliefs. The speed of modern communications has become one of the defining characteristics of our age. As these pressures continue to build, another question emerges. Is today's divisions primarily the result of international action or intentional action by specific actors, or is it the unintended consequences of many independent forces that are interacting with one another? That question deserves careful examination because simplistic answers rarely capture the complexity of the world events. History clearly has demonstrated that some individuals and organizations intentionally exploit fear, uncertainty, and social divisions for political, ideological, or economic advantage. And at the same time, history has also shown that large-scale global developments usually arise from the interactions of the many competing interests rather than a single unified plan. Understanding that distinction is essential if we hope to analyze today's challenges with both curiosity and intellectual honesty. That is where our journey truly begins. To understand the present, we must first understand the forces that have shaped civilization across thousands of years, because only then can we appreciate why this moment feels so significant. And as we continue, we'll explore not only the dangers confronting the modern world, but also the resilience that has followed civilization and allowed it to endure through some of history's darkest chapters. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.